Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, as a professional engineer, I've probably spent 50 years, nearly 50 years in the construction sector, specifying a lot of low energy use and high efficiency building. In fact, my company, about 15, 20 years ago, we were some of the first designing LEED certified buildings in this country, and certainly in West Virginia. And we tried to do this working with my fellow colleague from Vermont. We've been able to try to get some accomplishments, but in energy efficiency, and I appreciate Mr. Nadel, you're underscoring two of our bills that we're working on, and I think that we can advance those. But I guess I don't want it to be a but on there, but there is a concern, and Elizabeth, you were the first, you've mentioned it now for the first time, was indoor air quality. And I've been troubled as an engineer that we tend to ignore that, the impact that indoor air quality is going to have effect on it, and because it's really going to stress our ability to get energy efficient, or energy reductions costs. Because we know that typically a classroom today, it may be at best, it has one air turnover an hour. It may be at best. But under ASHRAE standards, it wants us to go anywhere from 4 to 20 air changes an hour. So we know we're going to be putting a lot more energy into our buildings as a result of that to achieve good indoor air quality. So little Johnny sitting there next to someone sneezing or having some whatever in the carbon dioxide buildup in that classroom is going to affect his or her health. So I know we're going to have some impact on that. So I'm a little curious about how we might be able to explain to people their energy demands are going to go up because they're currently not meeting a good air quality in our classrooms. So I'm curious to see how we might be able, so that with full disclosure, the people understand their energy costs actually might go up, but their air quality is going to improve, and little Johnny and his sister are going to be healthier when they get out of that classroom. Can you work with me a little bit on how we might be able to get the public be more aware that we're going to challenge energy for a while?
Yep, thanks, Representative. And I do have to mention that I'm a frequent visitor to the beautiful Canaan Valley all winter. So, yeah. So with schools, again, as with other buildings, what we promote is a whole building approach, and that's really where you can get the most benefit and the most potential cost savings, even if you improve your air quality with increased mechanical air changes in that example. If you're looking at the whole building and you're upgrading your lighting, say you're going from old incandescent up to LED, you're adding more daylighting with better insulated windows, you're upgrading your HVAC. If you really look at it as a whole systems approach, that's where you can save money even at the same time as you're increasing.
You say it could be offset with this air. Because I think this is important for people to understand. We're going to hit if we do the proper air changes, we're going to increase at least that component of it. And I agree with you on lighting other elements to it. But I think we need a full disclosure to make sure people are aware some component might actually increase, but the rest of it we can offset. It's an educational process we have to do with it. Yep. So Mr. Nadel, in the time frame that unfortunately we get, one of the most controversial parts that we're getting pushback on our legislation has to do with the introduction of the building energy codes. What from your perception, what's wrong with the 10-year payback requirement?
I think a 10-year payback is okay if you have the adequate financing, so therefore your loan payments, the extra loan payments are less than the energy savings. In that case, you get immediate positive cash flow, and with mortgage rates today, typically that will be the case.
So would you suggest that we should stay the course on this, or should we give more flexibility to go beyond 10 years? What do you think we should do?
I think staying the course is good, but yes, maybe some flexibility. Interest rates go up and down. You know, ultimately it should be, if you're going to recommend anything rather than an arbitrary period, talk about immediate positive cash flow and finance with the mortgage at the then current mortgage rates, because that's going to be the key.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. And for all of you, I just hope we have more discussion, Mr. Chairman, about indoor air quality, because we know that's an area that we need to pay a lot more attention to. Thank you, and I yield back my time.